Welcome back guys to another one. It's been a while since I covered the M-ATX format in either a case or a motherboard. Nevertheless, SilverStone still makes such a product for this category in the form of the H1M, so let's see how it pans out. The M-ATX was such a versatile format a few years back since it offered a great balance of compactness and features, including SLI crossfire support. This until ITX matured and GPUs have evolved, thus we don't pursue multi-card configurations anymore. However, today M-ATX has become like a budget solution, especially for motherboards. Nevertheless, SilverStone still offers a case for this segment, the FARA H1M, which is basically a downsized variant of the previously reviewed FARA R1 Pro. It should retail for around $60 for the non-tempered glass in either black or white variants, and $69 for the current sample of today, the one with the glass panel. There is even the Pro ARGB variant for a bit more, of course. So the H1M enclosure comes shipped in your standard brown box, while the two styrofoam pads help protect the case inside. Minimal accessories are provided as you would expect for a budget case. Like I mentioned, this is virtually the downsized variant of the R1 Pro, so we have the same clean and functional design with the emphasis on frontal airflow. On the main side we have the tempered glass panel, which is held into place via two back screws since the glass has its own frame. More on this later. From this angle we can see that there is even extra side ventilation with cutouts in the front panel. The top side has a magnetic dust filter, while the front I/O features one USB 3.0, two USB 2.0 and your standard microphone and headphone 3.5mm jacks. Removing the meshed front panel reveals the inner magnetic dust filter and how easy it is to access this whole area since the front panel has no wires attached to it. From bottom upwards we have the PSU section, the 4 PCIe slots and the exhaust fan placement. The case only accepts 120mm fans here, but you can slide to choose your vertical position. Then the bottom side reveals another dust filter for the PSU area and the screws for the removable hard drive cage. Curiously, the feet have this chrome paint job to them and feature anti-slip pads. Moving to the solid back panel, this is held into place via two regular thumb screws. The mounting system deserves points here since it makes the panel installation so much easier when compared to the regular slide-in clips and you basically have to tackle to slide them in. As for the 4mm thick tempered glass panel, this one also features the same upgraded mounting system since it has its own integrated frame. With both panels off, the back area reveals the fully separated PSU area with a big cutout for the motherboard and the removable hard drive cage, just to name a few main highlights. The case will accept your standard length ATX PSU of 160mm long with a hard drive cage installed, or up to 250 without it. The modular cage will accommodate up to two 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives in any combination. Then the front I/O cables are all in matching black, which is a welcome detail. Now let's move into the main front chamber, which has the modern layout with the PSU with its own section on the bottom. The top side will accommodate two 120mm fans. Regarding motherboard support, you can install either an ITX, DTX or the M-ATX format. Then at the front here is where you can install either a 120 or 240mm AIO since the top area doesn't have that much clearance. As for GPUs, you have enough clearance up to 320mm without any front fans or AIO installed. The PSU chamber features a full mesh design for extra ventilation with cable cutouts for the motherboard. Two extra 2.5-inch drives can be installed on display onto this side, and the front I/O connectivity is neatly routed from factory. This variant of the H1M comes with only one 120mm SilverStone 3-pin powered fan. Also, you can swap this with any 120mm fan you desire or even another 120mm AIO. Now let's get back inside and start to assemble the build. The first step is to install the power supply, which slides right in. I chose a non-modular unit to specifically test the wire management capability of the case. Speaking of, you have almost 20mm of clearance from the PSU and roughly 16mm from the motherboard tray. The board goes in next, while the CPU cooler can be installed with ease with the motherboard installed thanks to the back cutout. The front I/O cables have excellent reach, so all good here. Despite the motherboard's offset main PCIe slot and the 2.5 wide slot GPU, there is plenty of clearance around the graphics card. Finalizing the cable routing wire management is a breeze since you have plenty of securing eyelets along the motherboard tray and sufficient space to hide all of the unused cables between the PSU and the hard drive cage or even in it. The final build will turn out something like this, and I didn't encounter any clearance issues. I must say I really like so far how compact it is and kinda miss the micro ITX build. Some new ideas come to mind, so we will see. As for numbers and graphs, here are the CPU temps in stock form since the featured motherboard boosts a budget chipset and thus an entry-level VRM, so I don't wanna even try to attempt overclocking here. However, even with one supplied rear fan set as an exhaust, the temps are nothing to worry about. Regarding the GPU, as long as it has its own decent cooling, things will be under control. Of course, if you start to install front fans as intake, then you will get even better results, as we saw with the FARA R1 Pro, which had already set fans from factory. Regarding the noise test, realistically most people will keep the settings at 30 or 50% RPM for the fans, hence why I haven't included the 100% spot, because no matter what the components do in the case, the sound will be overridden by the case's fans, which is around 45-50 decibels plus. Also, here is a quick noise sample. Well, there you have it guys, the FARA H1M proves to be a great micro ATX enclosure since it's easy to build in, features a modern design layout and has a great emphasis on airflow features. It offers good value for money since it gives you the opportunity to build a great budget system and a cool looking one too. I only wish that it came with 2 more stock fans on the front. Thank you for watching guys, and please feel free to interact with the famous like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one. Alex out.